This is definitely not a video that I thought I'd be making. At this stage, it's a mystery. Are the lambs being affected by something that they've picked up out of the field? In farming, you're always going to run into problems. And just, you have to not let it get to you too much. I thought lambing had been really hard, but it had gone as well as it could. And I guess now I just feel really unsure about what the future holds for the lambs. But as of at the moment, it's not looking very promising. I mean, something's obviously wrong. We've had a bit of a worrying time, a bit of a stressful time. Over the last 10 days, we have run into some problems with the lambs and starting to lose them and find problems with them unexpectedly. So this video shows the run through of how everything went down. So one thing that happened over the weekend is that I found this lamb had lost the use of its back end. So I brought them all inside, I phoned the vet, it's on a course of antibiotics and anti-inflammatories, but as of at the moment, it's not looking very promising. So I have no idea what's caused it. Could be a spinal abscess, could have just had an accident in the field. But yeah, we are hoping that she will get better. So this lamb we found last night when we were doing our checks, and it can't walk. Just the same, bright in itself, but not able to walk. I'm concerned because I found one lamb that couldn't walk and I thought hopefully it's an isolated case, but now finding two, it's making me think that there could be more. And we are just off down to the vets with the two lambs that have lost the use of their legs. So hopefully we can find out what the cause might be. So we've just come back from the vet and it wasn't a particularly, it didn't really reveal a great deal. The vet sort of said the lambs could have picked something up out of the pasture, a bacteria, perhaps the ewes had a copper deficiency. Obviously we did give them the copper, but it could be that, could be a vitamin deficiency. So we're not really any closer to finding out what the problem is. But we've got some injections, so that is what we're going to try. I'm fed up of sheep today, to be honest. I'm fed up of sheep, I'm fed up of problems. It's all starting to feel a little bit overwhelming, really. I don't know whether I have done something wrong with the ewes to cause this to happen. I guess I just need to keep reminding myself that in farming, you're always going to run into problems. And just, you have to not let it get to you too much. But I think because I do care so much and I do put so much into it and I want to do a good job, it just feels like a real kicker when things like this start to happen and you feel like it's just out of your control. So I thought at this point it would be useful to show you what was concerning me, and it was just a growing number of lambs every single day that were becoming sore on their legs. And like this one here, it was actually just falling over, and so I was thinking, you know, what is the cause? Is it like a sort of delayed sway back? But then other ones just looked like they were losing condition, like they were sick or some sort of deficiency. So it just felt really confusing to know how to treat them when you don't know what the problem is. And I just began to get really, really worried. And so I was taking these video clips and sending them to people going, what do you think the problem is here? Like, what is going on, do you think? Is it joint ill? Is it sway back? So it's becoming clear that I have got some major problems and I don't know what to do. I mean, something's obviously wrong. And the lambs were all displaying slightly different symptoms. So there was the two in the shed that had lost the use of the back legs. There was one in the field that was sort of swaying around all over the place, falling over. Then there was this lamb that looked like something was really wrong with it. Other ones stiff and lame. And I just felt so out of my depth. So that's a dead lamb. It definitely messes with your head a lot, because about a week ago I was looking at the lambs playing in the field and thinking, we did it, you know, I did it. I got them into the world. I got them here, I got them healthy, and I just need to keep them that way. And now it feels like I can't do that. So that is quite difficult, and it's not something that I have come to terms with yet. One thing that kept going round in my head was that the sheep are divided into two groups, and the ewes and lambs on this side of the field were all unaffected. So all the triplets, all the ones that had stayed on this side, no lameness, no stiffness, no deaths, no problems. At this stage, it's a mystery. Are the lambs being affected by something that they've picked up out of the field? So this only happened since I moved them over to the other side, and all the sheep and lambs that have remained on this side so far unaffected. My plan of action is to get the vet out today and hope that it will be a little bit more illuminating in terms of shining a light on what the problem might be and how best to proceed, because at this moment in time I don't know how to proceed. I don't know how to treat the problem, because there are so many possible reasons that could be affecting them. So I'm just hoping for a bit more clarity today. So we've just come away from our appointment with the vet, and he seemed to think that it could be lead poisoning, which is not something that we had on our list of things that it could be. Lead never even came up as a potential. So we're just going to move the sheep and lambs out of the fields with the lead rakes. So we drove around the field with the vet, and I also explained to him that it was only affecting one group, and it was the group that we moved into the field over the other side. And so we had a look round and we pointed out a few that were sort of a bit stiff, bad on their feet, and he came to the conclusion that he thought lead was a possibility. And then we had a lamb that had died overnight, so he cut it open, did the post-mortem, and he found the kidney to be abnormal. Seemed to think that it was most likely to be caused by lead. So we're now going to have some tests done and wait for those results. In the meantime, these are all going to move out of this field just in case, and I'm just going to bring everything down into the triplets field. And the weather has been absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, but I just feel completely like I'm under a cloud whilst I've got all this hanging over me and all of the worry. It's been quite a crazy few days, and I feel actually now a little bit relieved that hopefully we're on our way to at least having some answers, and can come up with a way forwards, because it's just been so stressful not knowing, and so stressful going around the field and just finding all these healthy lambs all of a sudden not being healthy anymore and not knowing why. So when the vet went round, he seemed to think that this sort of thing that we're finding is stiffness caused by lead poisoning. So it's Friday today, and so yeah, I've got two lambs in the shed that are like this. which the vet seemed to think was just going to be delayed sway back, and we discussed how copper deficiency would be the cause of that in the ewes in pregnancy. Now the ewes did have their copper bolus, so why they would be like this, I don't know. We've got a course of antibiotics which have been given them in case it was something else like a spinal abscess, but they haven't improved. So if it is delayed sway back, then there isn't going to be any coming back from this, and they will have to be put down. So yeah, I gave the ewes the copper and the minerals early February. I thought that would hopefully prevent, but I guess there's always a chance that these things still happen, even when you do everything that you think is right. But yeah, we thought we'll finish the course of antibiotics and then we'll make a decision about what needs to be done next. Oh, that's lame. So today's Saturday. We've had a dead lamb here in the shed, so I guess that makes that one no longer need to make a decision on that. And another dead lamb up in the fields, another twin. So we're going to go and get that down, and probably cut it open and do a post-mortem and see if there are similarities with the one that we cut open with the vet, or it could be something different. I'm just going to go across the field now and have a look at the area that we think is where the lead could be. This is the old lead rakes. I think you call them lead rakes. So you've got exposed bits of soil, and this is where the lambs were playing and concentrated. And what we are looking for is bits of black that look a bit like coal. So there's that. There's this. That could be lead. That there. And I guess the thought is the vet seemed to think that because of the amount of rain we've had, it's washed away the soil more, and therefore the lead is more likely to be contaminating. So the lambs will play on the lead rakes, sort of run around on the heaps, and they also, when they are little, they do sort of eat all sorts of things. They put everything in their mouth, really. I've seen them nibbling on sticks and leaves, and they're just nibbling. So they're playing on the soil, and they're probably nibbling at the soil, and therefore they could probably just literally eat a piece of lead. And I'm guessing that in the case of the lamb that died, that's probably what happened. It probably ate some lead. So on Saturday, we lost 2 lambs. So we decided that we were going to do an autopsy, having done one with the vet 2 days before. So that wasn't the nicest thing in the world to do, but I felt like it was important because really we're trying to find out as much as we can. So it seemed necessary to do it. So number 68, the twin, looks like it had some sort of internal bleed. There was like a lot of kind of blood clots and stuff inside the lamb. So I would say that the reason why it died was not related to the lead poisoning. And obviously we don't have that confirmed at this stage that it even is lead, but the kidneys were fine. And then the lamb that was off its back legs was the one that died as well. And that one had also a strange looking kidney. And I sent a picture to the vet, and they kindly gave me their thoughts. And they said it was indicative of toxemia of some kind, but not necessarily lead. So we don't really know. We don't really know what that would have been caused by, so still don't really know. Today is Thursday, so this has been going on for over a week now. And since we shut the sheep out of the field that we believe to be contaminated, fingers crossed we haven't had any more go down. So we're just waiting on the test results. We don't actually have the test results back yet, so we've been waiting over a week now, and so it should be any day soon. And if it is confirmed to be lead, then what do? Well, we've shut the stock out the field, so we will keep the stock out for now, and then we can fence off the lead rakes, and basically just make sure that we keep the livestock away from the areas of the field where the lead workings are. That's all I think we can do for now. Younger animals are more susceptible to lead poisoning, so that is also a consideration that we can take into account. So that's the end of the video, where I still don't have the results of the tests that have been done at the vet, but this is to update you on what's been happening.